Russia does this thing. It's very different than what America does, or what America wants Russia to do. These cases right now, at least three, Russia arrested Americans and is trying to hold these proceedings concerning these Americans. The ironic thing is, the Americans that by and large they've been arresting and attempting to prosecute for what would be considered crimes in Russia are ones that don't have the kind of clout that America wants them to go after. We want them to go after important people in political roles that are serious criminals. And they're arresting some off duty firefighter, some jarhead that might be contracting with something, having something to do with cough medicine. Right? And what's China doing? Does anybody remember that capital case China had a couple years ago? About that guy who was importing meth? It's a big deal. And what do we do with China? Well, we want them to extradite an executive at a major Chinese telecom company to the United States who's been under some form of arrest for going on, what, 2 years now? You see, we want to bust big people there to provide political risk insurance for the organized criminals here. They haven't been doing that. Why? Because what makes money for them? Well, what did they say? They leverage. They combine the upstream liability with the downstream subsidiaries in order to create something that's supposed to be market neutral, right? It's supposed to be risk neutral at some point. It's kind of getting confused. And you accrue all this huge liability at the top and you just disperse it. And so you get a lot of busts for, even sometimes biggest bust in the history. Methamphetamine, cocaine. You don't really hear about crack so much anymore. And what do we do to prosecute massive drug trafficking in the country? Well, I mean, hundreds of millions of dollars. They had over 40 attorneys generals create a compact to go after a pharma company. What did they get? How much of that money is actually going to make it to people? No, they're going to do the same thing with the opiate producers they did with the tobacco industry, which is just provide a capital outlay for the legalization of marijuana. Oh wait, that's actually exactly what they did this whole time. Well, we've got some problems because something happened a long time ago. Let me see if I can find this. I looked at it once before. This guy, this crazy guy, you should have known him in the day. I never met him. I heard about him once. Let's see what he says. Who's this guy?
This is the checkers game where grandson
they
and
always got at
granddad...
least 10 commercials. You can't ever do anything, or at least one commercial here. Okay, here we go. What are they saying? What's he saying? Let's see. This isn't copyrighted. Oh, wow.
This hearing of the Permanent Subcommittee on Investigations is called to order. Before we begin, pursuant to Rule 6, all witnesses who testify before the subcommittee are required to be sworn.
I didn't know he was from the Delaware Muni Fund. I'm sorry, not from the Delaware Muni Fund, but the Delaware Muni Fund is headquartered in the state that the senator's from. I didn't know that. I just realized that now.
Timing system today.
Senator, I am not now, nor have I ever been, an oil trader.
Oh.
And neither has anyone on my behalf.
Oh dear.
I have never seen a barrel of oil, owned one, bought one, sold one, and neither has anybody on my behalf. I have never seen a barrel of oil, owned one. I've met Saddam Hussein exactly the same number of times as Donald Rumsfeld met him. The difference is Donald Rumsfeld met him to sell him guns and to give him maps, the better to target those guns. I met him to try and bring about an end to sanctions, suffering, and war, and on the second of the two occasions, I met him to try and persuade him to allow Dr. Hans Blix and the United Nations weapons inspectors back into the country. A rather better use of 2 meetings with Saddam Hussein than your own Secretary of State for Defense made of his. If you had any evidence that anybody ever gave me any money, it would be before the public. Senator, this is the mother of all smokescreens. You are trying to divert attention from the crimes that you supported, from the theft of billions of dollars of Iraq's wealth. Have a look at the real oil for food scandal. Have a look at the 14 months you were in charge of Baghdad, the first 14 months, when $8.8 billion of Iraq's wealth went missing on your watch. Have a look at...
Did you hear what he just said? 8.8 billion. What percentage of 8.8 billion are those 88 people that Barack Obama pardoned on his way out of office? What percentage of 8.8 billion is comparable to the 8.8 billion that was in the 2017 appropriations budget for transportation? Let me ask you, there was a shooting in Colorado. Where did that shooting occur? How many grocery stores in the United States, including grocery stores that claim to be natural food or whole food or organic food stores, have pension funds that include municipals in their portfolios? You're not going on an island vacation, baby. We're not talking about any luxury trips here. That's not what we're talking about. I'm sorry, you wanted to flip your daughters using me, but you flipped them the same time I got flipped for deals in Iraq, and you won't even let me get a fucking job as a bag person in a fucking grocery store without hooking up a terrorist attack involving oil. Literally, a terrorist attack that attacked an oil facility in the town I used to fucking work in. That is how significant your fucking default is. You're still working me for the fucking oil for food program in Iraq. That's where it is. You sold me when I was a little girl for up to and including deals you brokered with Halliburton. I'm right here on fucking site, and you won't let me do anything because I won't eat the cupcakes and I won't give them sugar. I have all the fucking sugar I need in my reserve, right? You're not getting it from Cuba. You under fucking stand? You need to fucking deal with this.